Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the truth about postpartum. I am 1 month and a couple of days postpartum from having my baby girl. I had her on September 25th. So I just want to talk about everything, like how I've been feeling since I've got from the hospital and everything, because I noticed this thing like with social media, and I understand why. The thing with social media is a lot of times y'all get on social media and y'all see these people having babies and these family vlogs and all of this stuff, and you only see the good part about that, and then they never come and tell you the negative part, because honestly, who want to talk about like the negative aspects? People just normally want you to see the good, simply because people don't want you using the negative things against them, which is perfectly fine. Not everybody have thick skin when it comes to this social media stuff, so not everybody want to display the negative parts of their life. I just want to give a disclaimer before you start watching this video. If you're someone who is getting ready to have a baby, or like if you're close to your due date, or if you're just pregnant and you're watching this video, I advise you to wait till afterwards, because I don't want to put any negative thoughts in anybody's head when it comes to having a baby, because babies are a blessing and it is a beautiful experience. So I don't want you guys to think, oh, this video is meant to be like something super negative or anything. So if you don't have thick skin, this video might not be for you. If you're pregnant or if you're getting ready to have a baby soon, don't stress yourself out watching my crazy video or my craziness. I got a baby girl with me because it's just a part of my life right now. I can't do how I used to do, where I disappear and make long videos, because I had an 8-year-old. I have a newborn now, so in order for me to make a lot of these videos, she's just gonna be a part of it, which I'm sure you guys is fine, because everybody love babies. So yeah, so in the hospital, I would say I had like a pretty okay labor and delivery. No, I had a really good labor and delivery experience, because like I said, I didn't tear any of that. And then when I got home, yeah, as far as pain, I was perfectly fine. I did have a scare. I had passed a really big clot, and they usually tell you when you get home from the hospital, if you pass a clot that's bigger than the size of a dime, to come back. But so I went back to the ER, and everything ended up being perfectly fine. And shortly after, it was perfectly fine. Like, it was nothing crazy wrong with me. So I'm talking about the aspect of how my body felt, and then I'll go into how I felt, and then just continue on from there. So yeah, that happened, and I was perfectly fine afterwards. As far as my body, good to go, cool, whatever. But I did like find myself, like, I'm the type of person where I'm very secure in myself. I don't know, I'm secure in myself. I don't care. I can walk around wearing this. I can walk around wearing weave. I can walk around with my natural hair, and I'm so secure in myself where I won't feel the type of way like, oh, I need my hair done. Oh, I need this. That's just not the type of person. I'm secure in myself. Natural, makeup, whatever. So it was a little different for me this time, because coming from the hospital, I felt like I was almost kind of rushing myself to bounce back a little bit for a second, but then I had to like snap out of there real quick. So when I got from the hospital, my butt, I have a shape. I have a decent shape. It runs in my family, but my butt was flat. Like, my butt was super flat. I might even insert a picture of how flat it was compared to like my regular shape. So my butt was super flat. So I was feeling the type of way about that. And obviously my stomach is there. My stomach is still there. But I went back to my original weight, and then a week after going back to my original weight, I end up losing even more weight. So I just felt like, no, like, I want to be thick. Like, I want to stay how I was. So yeah, that was the body. As far as my body changing, my skin did get really dry, but it's fixed now, and I had like this really dark spot on my skin. But after I had heard that, kind of like went away, so I feel like it was a part of my pregnancy. My eczema like came back, but it's gone now again. So that is pretty much all I experienced as far as body. So as far as emotions, my emotions has been a roller coaster. I'm not depressed or anything like that, but I was like very anxious. Like, I'm nowhere near anxious as I was before when I first got out of the hospital. So for example, I know it's normal for moms to worry about their baby and worry about, you know, everything that goes on when they have a newborn, but it was like getting way out of hand. Like, it was just taking over me and everything. So I was like anxious, where I didn't want anybody to breathe on her. I didn't want anybody looking at her. I was just going crazy, like, about every single thing OCD about every single thing. So the whole incident with me having to go to the ER, I'm breastfeeding and I hadn't started pumping yet because my lactation consultant didn't recommend me to start pumping yet. So in my head, I'm like, I'm exclusively breastfeeding, so I don't have to worry about that. But I didn't think like, oh, what happened if I'm in an emergency situation and I need to leave the baby with dad? I didn't think about that. So we had to take her to the ER with us. But think about it, the ER is full of a whole bunch of sick people and you have a newborn and you're chilling in the ER. So I was like panicking so bad, like I was crying really bad in the hospital, like, oh my God, I don't want her to have to be here in the hospital. I don't want to have to feed her in this hospital. Like I was going crazy in the hospital when I had to go back to get seen and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't want her to get sick. So my husband took her back to the car and I was like, y'all just wait in the car and I'll go back and get seen. And that hospital was really, really slow, which normally when you go to the emergency room, it's really slow anyway. So I was like, nah, you just take her outside. So I go get seen. I'm just like, I'm ready to go. Like, I really don't care. I don't care about this blood clot. I don't care about, at that point, I wasn't thinking logically. I was like, I don't care about my own health. I just don't want my newborn to get sick. So I had to get back in my headspace. So when I had got to the back, in a room, I was super dry with the nurse and I really didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just like, my first question was, how long is this gonna take? Like, when y'all gonna be done? Because I have a newborn, I'm not trying to bring her back here to feed her. And he was just giving me options like, well, we can take you to a more private room to feed her. And I was just, I really don't want to feed her in this hospital. So he was able to pull some strings and get the doctor to go ahead and see me ahead of time, just so I can get out of there and I can go feed Jada in time. So I'm really appreciative for that situation because my anxiety was going crazy. But yeah, it was just stuff like that. Like, I didn't want to go anywhere. I really didn't want to go to, like, because you have to go to appointments right after you have a baby. You go to a 48-hour appointment and you go to a 2-week appointment. It was like every little thing, like, oh, when you come home, everybody need to change their clothes. Because I have another daughter who goes to school, so I still make her do this because it's logical to me, but when she come home from school, she need to get out of those school clothes. Or when my husband come home from work, because he work at a clinic, so I'm like, you need to change your clothes, everything. Even when we got from the ER that day, everybody stripped down, butt naked down. Even her, I had her stripped down and everything. She just listening to me talking, falling asleep. But yeah, I had her stripped down and everything too, because I'm just like, no, like, everybody take off everything. Then, like, it was a situation where we had to go to our appointment, and this is just little examples of like things with my anxiety, like thinking people are out to get my child. Stop my camera at a certain amount of minutes so it won't run out. But yeah, this is like my anxiety, thinking like everything is out to get my child. The other incident was, like I was saying, we was at the hospital. We had just came from an appointment and we was on the elevator. Elevator perfectly fine, getting ready to close. My husband seen this other lady who's getting ready to get on the elevator, so he had the elevator. Oh, like, hey, you need to get on the elevator? Are you getting on the elevator? And I was looking at him like irritated, like, why you let this lady get on the elevator with us? What if she's sick? What if she get the baby sick? Like, I was thinking the craziest stuff, but I had to catch myself. So in order for me to get out of that crazy anxiety, which I'm still cautious because she's still a newborn and she still don't have her immunizations or anything, but I'm still very cautious. So what helped me get out of that is I would do something each day that I was just like, that I didn't want to do. So the first time I was like, okay, let me go stand outside and sit in front of the garage. Oh, let me go for a walk. Oh, let me go. I would just do stuff to build myself up to be okay with like taking her out, because I can't, like, you can't trap yourself in a house. A lot of people got this idea, oh, when you gotta stay in the house for 6 weeks. No, you can't go anywhere where it's like super crowded, or like, you can kind of be the judge of where you can and can't go. But if you need to go to the store, go to the store real quick, or go do some grocery shopping, or just go for a walk and stuff, you can do that when you first have a baby. Like, even the doctor said, like, no, you need to get out of the house, because that's how women end up getting depressed and sad. You need fresh air. You cannot come locking yourself up in the house when you have a baby, because it just drives you crazy, which is very, very true. So that's a part of my emotions. And another issue that I had with my emotions, when I first got out of the hospital, even right before I had her, I had deleted my social medias, and I wasn't really responding to people like that, because I don't know, people are like, people don't think, like, family was just so excited to the point where they like blowing up our phones and stuff like that. I don't feel like they was thinking it through. Like I'm already overdue, so that's like stressing me out because I'm ready to have the baby, and I feel like, what am I doing wrong? What is wrong with my body? I'm already stressed out. I'm already anxious, and then everybody blowing up our phone. Is the baby here yet? Is the baby here yet? So that got really annoying. And then I knew I was gonna get even more anxious when the baby got here because everybody like, oh, can we get pictures? Oh, this, oh, that. Are you okay? How are you doing? How are you doing? And I don't know, that just drove me crazy to the point where I was not like responding to people immediately. Sometimes I wasn't responding to people at all because I kind of sound mean by saying this, but this is just me telling my raw emotions toward the situation. But yeah, people constantly asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to keep saying? Like, okay, I get it that you're worried, but it's just driving me crazy. I don't know, constantly having to interact with human, coming from a person who don't, even though I get on this camera and talk, I'm not a person to just walk around interacting with everybody. Like, it's times where I will go try so hard to avoid human interactions, like, honestly. Especially since I've been pregnant, and especially since I've had her. Like, I don't want to talk. I don't want you all up in her face. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want you blowing up my phone because you wasn't doing that when I was pregnant. So why are you doing it now? You wasn't checking on me. I'm like, you didn't ask me was I okay when I had her in my stomach. But yeah, it was just overwhelming. So I just got to the point where I just started ignoring people besides like really close immediate family and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was one of my things. Like, I just kind of shut people off. I know when I say shut people off, I was shutting everybody out. Like, it got to the point where I literally felt like, I don't know if other women feel this way, but when you have a baby, even when you have other kids and you're married and stuff, I felt like my only obligation, which sometimes I still do feel this way, I felt like my only obligation is Jada, like, is the newborn. Like, I need to tend to her. I ain't studying nobody else in this house. Everybody else can take care of themselves. Y'all gonna be good. That's just how I felt. So I'm still struggling with being able to pass myself around to everybody, being able to have enough time with my oldest daughter, have enough time with Jada, have enough time being a wife, because you're being a mom, you're being a wife, and it's like you have to balance that. You have to balance all of these things, and I don't know, I just feel rushed to do it. I don't know, I just feel rushed to like kind of get back to myself. But I'm trying to remember, like, this is a process. You nobody just have a baby and wake up and have all of the balance together. Like, it's gonna take time. So some days I just don't want to be bothered with anybody. I don't want anybody to talk to me. I just want it to be me and Jada. And then some days I'm like happy and I'm good and I'm up and moving around. I'm trying to clean. I'm trying to, you know, do stuff around the house. And then some days I'm just sad. Like, the second day after I got out of the hospital, I was just sad. Like, I just was at an appointment and I just bust out crying when I got outside. But I was crying, like, even walking to the car and stuff. But it's just like any little thing I can cry over. Bless you, mama. It's like any little situation I had emotion towards, and it was so weird because that's not like me. I'm a crybaby, but not a crybaby on the level of how I was crying when I the first couple of days and stuff. But yeah, I had got like super sad thinking about the difference between this pregnancy and then my previous pregnancy. If you guys haven't been watching me for a while, I was a teen parent, and I told a story time about that, and you guys will be able to tell. Like, back then I was pregnant, I was young, I had no business having any kids, I didn't want any kids at that time. So like, I really didn't have no emotions toward that pregnancy. It was hidden the whole time, so it wasn't like a special bond. The bond wasn't there and everything. So I just broke down about it because I felt bad. Like, these two kids are like day and night different. Like, my feelings toward when I first had my first child and this child right here being married and having a child out of love, it's a big difference between having a kid, like just being a baby mama or whatever. So yeah, I felt really bad about that. But it's not that I don't love my first child now. It's just the experience was total different. It took a while for us to like really bond. So yeah, I really felt bad about that. So that was like weighing heavy on me. Yeah, as far as emotion, it was just like some days some days I'm happy, some days irritated. I'm like irritable towards anything, and then some days I'm like not sad, but I'm not happy, but I don't want to interact with humans. So I'll like literally trap myself in my room, and I'll put everything in my room. Like, I'll put all my snacks, all of the diapers right here on the bed. I will literally put everything that I need so I won't have to leave this room and interact with anybody. I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. But yeah, now I'm like trying to challenge myself to make sure I'm getting out the house every single day, even if it's just for like some fresh air and stuff. But yeah, it's like when you're in breastfeeding, adds on to all of that. Breastfeeding was really hard for me. The first week was really hard. Breastfeeding is not easy, but I wouldn't trade it. Like, our bond, me and Jada bond, is like so strong. The way you bond with your child when you breastfeeding, you bond with your child either way, but breastfeeding is like on a whole nother level. So of course she's like super attached to me, because I mean, this is how she's fed and everything. So yeah, I really love breastfeeding so far. I don't see myself stopping unless something happened with my body. It's hard, but it's convenient because you don't have to worry about getting up and fixing the bottle. You don't have to pay for formula, but it's definitely a challenge. So I do want to make a whole separate video about like how did breastfeeding go and how did I get used to it and how did I get on the schedule and everything. And I'm sorry y'all, I'm rocking, but I got a baby in my hand and I do not want her to bust out crying. I don't want her to bust out crying. This video might be long, but I really want to tell y'all the raw and real postpartum feelings. I'm trying to think of other things. Okay, so another thing that was like worrying me, because I told myself that I did not want to get back on birth control. Like, I just don't care for birth control. It's not that I've had bad experience with birth control, because I never had bad experience, but I'm just like, why do I have to put that inside of my body? But then it's like stressful because I don't want to get on birth control, but I also don't want another kid. Like, as of right now, I don't want any more kids. I could change my mind in the future, but I don't know. As of right now, I don't want any more. But I think I'm just saying that because of how demanding it is right now for me to have a newborn. I think that's what I think I'm just thinking off emotions. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but as of now, I'm doing everything I can to prevent having kids. So I was stuck in between, do you want to get birth control, or do you want to risk having another kid? And I don't want another kid. And who want to bring a kid into this world that they don't want to have? So I was just like annoyed because I feel like it's unfair. I felt annoyed, and I almost feel like it's unfair, but it's unfair because women, we have to, it seems like we have, it's not seen, it's clear to see. Women have to go through everything. Like, we have to go through carrying the baby. We have to go through carrying the baby. We have to go through the postpartum, the pain that comes afterwards. We have to go through the birth control, because they don't have a lot of birth control options for men besides condoms, and completely making it to where you can't ever have kids again. So it's like we have to go through all of it. We have to go through the breastfeeding part and the pains and the staying up late at night. And I know, yeah, it's some husbands out there to stay up late at night, but I feel like it's still, I feel like men, it doesn't matter how much they do, they will never put in the amount of work that women put in when it comes to a baby afterwards and during having that baby. So it's like we go through so much, and I always be like, whose idea was this to give us all of these problems? They give us periods, they give us everything, and then all the way for it to boil down to us having to also be the ones to get on birth control. Do that make any type of sense? Because women, we only carry a baby. We only can carry one child a year. A man can go through and make 100 children in 1 year. But we're the problem. We're the one who need to be tamed. We're the one who need to be on birth control. That, it just doesn't make sense to me how society works. Like, it's been too many years for them to not have like men birth control. Like, they need some type of obligation. I feel like men don't have any obligations or any obligations in life. I'm not gonna say any worries in life because I'm sorry, Jay, because everybody has worries in life. But yeah, I feel like men go through so little compared to women. So as far as kids, for them, it's so easy for them to be like, oh yeah, I want more kids. And it's like, who are you to say that? I feel like, who are you to even open your mouth and say that when you don't put in that much work? That's why it's so easy for men to just be like, oh yeah, I want more kids. Oh yeah, I want this. Or yeah, I want a kid in the first place, simply because it is easier for them. They don't really go through the really tough nitty gritty part that women go through. So that's kind of like frustrating for me. And I felt like I feel like I'm going through the stress of like, oh my God, is Ty happy? Oh my God, is Jada happy? Oh my God, is my husband happy? But yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to balance all of these things, but it's a process, and it's called postpartum for a reason. It takes time for women to bounce back. It takes time for me to adjust to being able to spread myself around and just being able to go back to being my old self. I'll never be my old self because I'm constantly growing, but it takes time for me to, you know, be the wife and the mom that I was. I still am a mom, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. It's tough. I'm not gonna act like it's all glittering gold, but I'm not going through like any type of depression or any thoughts of like self-harm or, you know, like typical signs of depression. The only thing I will say I went through was anxiety, which I've dealt with issues with anxiety before, like mild anxiety before I even had a baby or before I was even pregnant. So I'm not even surprised. Yeah, I just want you guys to continue to be on this journey with me. I'm definitely going to be talking about more. I definitely have other videos coming. I wanted to do a month update about Jada. Oh, girl, you just burped. I wanted to do a month update video about baby girl and breastfeeding and other stuff. I'm gonna have some really I was just thinking about this. I'm gonna have some different content, some lit content coming out eventually too. Probably starting at the end of the year and the beginning of next year. My content has always been like a little bit of everything. I've never like sat myself down and only did one thing. So my channel is just me, just my life, whatever I feel like filming, whatever I feel like is going on that day that I want to film. That's just what's happening with me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys can relate to some of the things that I said, just comment them down below. And I didn't make this video to like be super negative or anything towards having a baby. I just want other women to know you're not the only one that going through these things. You're not the only one who feel this way after you have a baby, or you know, it's normal to have all of these feelings. So y'all don't want anybody to think this video is super negative, like, oh, don't have kids or anything. But just know it's not always glittering gold. It's not always glittering gold when it comes to having a baby. But that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys subscribe and definitely chat with me in the comments, because I'm usually always responding. I'm always running my mouth because I love to run my mouth. And I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure you subscribe. Bye. Say bye. Say bye-bye. I'm 1 month old. She's like, I do not see that camera. Mama, say bye. Who is that? Mama, say bye-bye. Bye, you guys.